Hello, I'm Irving T. Duck, and this is your weekly real estate scam report, breaking down 20 active home buying and rental fraud cases documented across consumer safety networks as of August 19th, 2026. These are not distant hypotheticals. They involve forged deeds, fake rental listings, wire spoofing, lockbox abuse, phishing portals, and equity theft. Stay with me, because every case includes one warning sign you can use before your money, your identity, or your home title is at risk. Case File 1. A homeowner nearly lost $465,000 in home equity after fraudsters forged quitclaim deeds to steal their title. Austin County clerks intercepted the unauthorized recording right before liquidation, but only because the filing was caught in time. This is why title alerts and recorder notifications matter. Would you have caught this? Comment yes if this would have fooled you, and check whether your county offers a title alert today. Case File 2. $2,400 vanished after a renter paid first month rent on a copied Facebook listing in Plattsburgh. The real homeowner had no clue their property was listed, and the fake landlord disappeared as soon as the money cleared. The red flag was simple. The profile was unverified and pushed payment before ownership was confirmed. Would you have verified the deed? Let me know in the comments before you trust any social media rental ad. Case File 3. $124,000 in closing funds was diverted after a home buyer received spoofed wire instructions 24 hours before closing. The email looked real, but one altered letter sent the wire to an offshore account. Before sending any closing money, always call your escrow officer using a verified phone number, not the number in the email. Would you have noticed a single altered letter? Comment below, because this scam moves fast. Case File 4. $3,600 in cash disappeared after scammers cracked a realtor lockbox on a vacant home and staged fake in-person walkthroughs. That tour felt legitimate because the victim could actually step inside the house. But access does not prove authority. Never hand over cash deposits without verifying the listing agent, the brokerage, and the owner connection. Would you have trusted an in-person tour? Tell me in the comments, because this one fools careful people. Case File 5. $85,000 in equity was stripped from a distressed homeowner who signed over their deed to a fake rescue firm promising to stop tax foreclosure. The paperwork sounded like a quick refinance solution, but it actually transferred control of the property. Never sign away your title for emergency help without an independent attorney reviewing every page. Comment yes if you find this predatory, because foreclosure pressure is exactly what these scammers exploit. Case File 6. A renter lost their identity and $150 after filling out background check forms on a phantom Craigslist ad in Denver. The scammer collected a social security number, bank details, and a small application fee before any real showing occurred. Legitimate landlords do not need your most sensitive information before proving the property is available. Have you ever sent personal info before a tour? Comment below and slow down any rental that rushes your paperwork. Case File 7. A seller's credit was ruined for $310,000 when an unvetted wholesaler took their home subject to existing financing, collected subtenant rent, and then stopped paying the lender. The seller thought the mortgage would be handled, but the loan stayed in their name. Always consult an attorney on subject to deals and verify servicing responsibilities in writing. Would you take this risk? Let me know before you trust a shortcut sale. Case File 8. $1,800 was stolen when an active MLS sale listing was copied to online classifieds as a rental in Columbus. The photos were real, the address was real, and that is why the fake ad felt convincing. The problem was the rental offer was completely cloned. Reverse image search every rental property before paying hold fees and compare it against active sale listings. Would you have caught the duplicate listing? Comment yes or no. Case File 9. $2,200 vanished after a Calgary renter wired funds to a fake landlord claiming an out-of-province medical emergency. The scammer said keys would be mailed after payment and even supplied a fake tracking number to make the story feel real. If a landlord cannot show the interior or send an authorized agent, walk away. Would this excuse have worked on you? Tell me below, especially if you have seen the mail the keys trick before. Case File 10. $1,450 was stolen from a buyer, tricked by an SMS link into paying fake title fees on a phishing portal. The page copied a real title agency's branding, but the link was not the verified company website. Never trust a closing payment request that arrives by surprise text message. Always navigate directly to verified title company portals. Would you have clicked that link? Comment below, because one tap can expose your card. If you want to protect your home equity and avoid transaction traps, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly scam breakdown. These scams keep changing names, platforms, and payment methods, but the warning signs repeat. Share this report with a renter, buyer, seller, or homeowner who needs it. Now, let's jump into Case File 11, because the next one targets families through probate records. Case File 11. A $520,000 inherited home was nearly stolen after scammers tracked probate obituaries and recorded forged deeds to a shell company. Families dealing with grief may not be watching county records every week, and criminals know that. Enroll in your county recorder's title alert service immediately, especially for inherited property, vacant homes, and estates in transition. Is your property protected? Comment below and ask your relatives the same question. Case File 12. $4,800 in rent was intercepted after a hacker compromised a landlord's email to alter direct deposit records with the housing authority. The payment was real, the tenant assistance program was real, but the routing information was changed by an intruder. Multi-factor authentication is mandatory for all property accounts, especially email, portals, and bank access. Would you have caught the compromised email? Tell me in the comments, because landlords are targets too. Case File 13. $950 was lost when a Nashville renter paid an advance holding deposit just to schedule an in-person tour. The fake ad claimed the unit was in high demand and that payment would move the renter to the front of the line. That is manipulation, not leasing. Legitimate agents do not charge fees just to show properties. Have you ever encountered a pay-to-view listing? Comment below, because pressure fees are a major red flag. Case File 14. A senior homeowner was threatened with foreclosure over a $45,000 settled second mortgage from 20 years ago by aggressive debt buyers. The demand sounded terrifying, but old loan claims can be wrong, expired, or already released. Always preserve payoff releases in safe storage and never panic pay without professional review. Would this threat have panicked you? Let me know, because document storage can protect you decades later. Case File 15. A homebuyer was pressured to pay $35,000 cash under the table to bypass low mortgage appraisals. The seller framed it as a creative workaround, but side agreements outside closing escrow are illegal and can void your buyer protections. If the numbers do not work inside the official transaction, the deal is warning you. Would you have walked away from this deal? Comment yes or no, and never let urgency replace legal escrow. Case File 16. $3,100 was lost when an Ontario renter sent an e-transfer to a fake overseas landlord who promised to mail keys. The story claimed the owner was away on missionary work, which created sympathy and lowered suspicion. But compassion is not verification. Never send peer-to-peer transfers before signing a verified lease and confirming property access. Would you have trusted this story? Comment below, because emotional stories are often part of the script. Case File 17. $18,500 in closing deposits was stolen by a fake mobile notary sent to an out-of-state homebuyer. The packet looked official, the appointment felt professional, and that is exactly why credential verification matters. Always confirm your closing notary's commission and identity directly with the title company before handing over checks or signed documents. Would you have verified their credentials? Tell me below before your next remote closing. Case File 18. A buyer faced $28,000 in hidden foundation repairs after hiring an uncertified inspector recommended off-market by the seller. The inspection report said passed, but the cracks told a different story after closing. Never let the seller, wholesaler, or private deal maker choose your inspector. Always hire independent, certified inspectors with verifiable credentials. Have you ever had a bad home inspection? Comment below, because cheap inspections can become expensive repairs. Case File 19. $2,900 vanished after a scammer used a single-use self-tour code to stage a move-in, leaving the tenant locked out the next morning. Digital access can make a fake rental feel official, but temporary entry is not a lease. Verify permanent lease agreements with the property owner or authorized manager before sending move-in funds. Would you have fallen for this? Comment below, especially if self-tour rentals are common in your area. Case File 20. $65,000 in home equity was lost when a homeowner deeded their property to a fraudulent foreclosure defense firm that never filed court paperwork. The promise was simple: sign here and we will save your home. But signing away the deed gave the scammer control. Never surrender your deed to third-party consultants, no matter how urgent the notice looks. Comment yes if you want stronger deed laws and better homeowner alerts. To shield your personal identity and escrow assets from unverified portals, anchor your search to the primary listing authority. Download the Listing Agent Finder on the App Store today, free all summer long. Before you send money, share personal documents, wire closing funds, or trust a rental profile, verify the source. I'm Irving T. Duck. Stay alert, protect your title, and I will see you in the next weekly real estate scam report. Thank you. And see you next time. Take a moment to scan the QR code or use the link on screen to get the Listing Agent Finder before this offer ends.